All right, so we're back. Um, so this will be we'll see. It's not going to be as long as I was hoping. As usual, I guess. But uh, but yeah, we'll see how far we get. I might do another stream later today, maybe. Oh no, that's right. All right, I was doing this. So I actually that's right. I actually was going through the flowchart and I figured out a whole bunch of stuff, which is mostly to say this route here kind of feels like the CL route. Even more. Like this event was actually really major. So assuming that I do the CL route on stream, which I plan to, maybe I'll have to go back and look at these scenes. Because some of them were extremely interesting in how they're not even about CL necessarily. They're actually even more about the main character. So that's interesting. And then stuff like this is like not that important. Let's see. Yeah, that was pretty good. But yeah, some of these are a bit long by comparison. Wait, what is that? I was just wondering what the things behind her were. I don't remember. So that's all set up for the CL route. Even if it doesn't say that yet, of course. Or as far as I know. I should say as far as I know. Like maybe, I mean, my assumption was that if I do enough of the correct answers for the CL route, then when it gets to day 3 here, I'll be able to pick a few of these other options that are on here, and maybe those, like, you can literally see, like, the second option there, I should say, yeah, you can literally see right here, the second option, and then it almost is as if that one leads to this option, and almost as if that might lead to this option. Possibly? It feels like really organic when I look at the flowchart like that. And there's nothing else later on that's even vaguely similar to that. You know, like, you look at Route 4, and this is clearly the Arcueid route at 4 right here. And then 5, yeah. There aren't actually many options, really. It's interesting to look at the alternatives here, but actually I was just picking the good option every time. So that's interesting. Yeah. And then in 6, these are just pretty meaningless options, I guess. But I could be wrong. I mean, there are some... I don't know. I mean, I have to assume that it's just minor differences. Yeah, they are. Yeah. Yeah, they're minor differences. Yeah. Just Kohaku looking at you versus the doctor, but then there's a lot of options with the doctor, so I don't know. But yeah, let's go to Arcueid route. Hopefully we can get through one day, but this looks like a pretty long day, so who knows. Alright, what was this option? Let's see. Choose Iraq. Professor Iraq's strange affection. So it's almost as if I jumped over 2 options here? My answer was wrong. Right. When she was asking me, yeah, you can ask her, like, I think I told her, like, are you a doctor? And I think that's what the result was there. Doesn't seem super important here. And then, yeah, this doesn't seem super important. So, yeah. From what I can tell, these are pretty superfluous. And then, yeah, these were very superfluous. I mean, pretty much entirely dead ends on day 5. And then day 4 was, I think these were also dead ends, actually. pretty much. Oh yeah, there was a complicated dead end that I didn't show. So you can, okay, so down on that first end, or right above this one, you can actually leave her, and then you run into this girl. I forget. She doesn't say anything important, but your choice is either return to CL or don't return to CL. And if you don't return to CL, I mean, sorry, Arcueid. Sorry, I don't know why I said CL. If you don't return to Arcueid, then you just randomly get found and killed by Vlav. It was predictable, but at the same time, I was like, how the heck did he even find me? Like, it's not like he was just following me the whole time. Also, inexplicably, you walk around till it's nighttime. Even though when you leave Arcueid, it's like noon. But then you putz around until like 8 o'clock or something. It was so crazy. I mean, they did imply that, well, Shiki was feeling guilty because he would never normally do this. He always would help Arcueid, given the situation. But it doesn't change the fact that yeah, he fucked around for 8 hours and was almost home and then he died. Like, it was just very artificial feeling. Okay, let's go. I slowly drift awake. My arm feels heavy as I reach out for my glasses. Looks like I've got a fever. The thought crosses my mind as though it was someone else's problem. I put on my glasses. My vision returns to normalcy, though a tinge of dizziness remains. The symptoms resemble a common cold, but it's just a flush of a light morning fever. It'll pass with time, like giving a cold engine some time to warm up. Someone knocks on the door. After waiting for a moment,
失礼します。
Hisui enters the room with a bow.
おはよう、翡翠。今朝もありがとう。
おはようございます、四季様。お目覚めになられていたのですね。
ああ、昨日はぐっすり眠ったから。琥珀さんにはちょっと熱があるから、量は少なめだって伝えてほしい。
かしこまりました。体温計は必要でしょうか？
いらないよ。どうせいつもの微熱だし。
それでは着替えはここに。食堂でお待ちしております。
Hisui bows and leaves the room. It may be my imagination, but her bow doesn't feel as crisp as usual.
心配してくれてるのかな。でもこんなの本当にいつものことなんだけど。
I appreciate the feeling, but it's really no big deal. I mean, if we want to talk about people who've had it rough, she should see Arcueid. That wound of hers was no joke.
しかし、ガムテープは本当ないよな。見てるこっちの血の気が引いたし、今度会ったら。
I stopped before finishing the thought. There is no next time. We won't be seeing each other again. It's better to avoid getting involved with someone like that.
そうだ。それがいいに決まってる。
High time I get this through my head. Today is Monday. It's the beginning of the week and I'm eager to get started. I wash my face and get dressed before heading over to the parlor. Akiha is sitting on the sofa. It's just after 7, but she's already enjoying her post-breakfast cup of tea. I thought she always does, but okay. I thought she always eats before 7. I don't remember if I've ever seen her eat breakfast. Maybe once or twice, I guess. They don't really show it, so maybe that's why I don't remember.
あら、おはよう、兄さん。今
She's
朝は早
excited.
いんですね。
My waking up early has Akiha in a good mood, it seems.
おはよう。秋葉の方こそいつもおはよう。
All of a sudden, I'm struck with a bout of vertigo and grab my head. The dizziness persists. My body heats up like I've never felt it before.
兄さん。
I hear the sound of rustling clothes, then footsteps towards me.
どうかしました？顔が赤いけど熱でもあるんですか？
いや、熱は確かにあるんだけど。
Akiha comes closer and peers up at me from below. Strange. For some reason, it feels like it's worse when I'm looking at her.
少し熱があるようですね。
I'm wondering if he's like getting like he was infected with the vampire blood, or if he's getting that one feeling of wanting to kill again. I guess we'll see.
昨夜はきちんと毛布を使いましたか？環境が変わったから調子を崩しただけでしょうけど、念には念よね。そこで待っていてください、兄さん。今琥珀を呼びつけますから、朝食の前に熱を測りましょう。
Akiha looks over to the lobby. She's probably thinking about going over to the kitchen and getting kohaku. I avert my gaze from Akiha in that moment. As I do, my dizziness passes.
いいんだ、アキハ。琥珀さんを呼ぶまでもないよ。起きたばかりで体調が悪いだけだから、いちいち気にしないで。
体調が悪いのならなおさら放っておけません。風邪だったらどうするんですか？些細な病気でも兄さんには大事でしょ。免疫や抵抗力が人より低いんですから。
I don't remember him having a weak immune system. It's anemia. Anemia is not a weak immune system. It's very different things. Visibly irritated, she brings her hand to my forehead. Her delicate palm is cold to the touch, enough to send a shiver run down my nape. For the brief moment, I cease breathing. Akiha is right. Something is wrong with me today. I don't know why, but every moment of hers makes me tense. Just watching her causes my temperature to spike. The realization hits me that I might faint if she keeps touching me.
兄さん、随分と熱くないですか？
Akiha's words ring through my skull. It feels as if her long black hair and porcelain skin have evaporated into heat and trickled into my head. This is bad, but the feeling will fade. Fatigue must be causing it. My body hasn't had enough time to recuperate. Before I end up doing something incredibly stupid in front of Akiha, I make my move.
よし、休養を思い出した。
Oh, okay. And then runs out. I brush away her hand and scurry off like a panicked rabbit.
四季様、朝食まであと5分ほどかかりますが。
そうか、ありがとう。俺のカバンは？
Okay, he's freaking out like crazy right now. This is a bit much.
カバンでしたらこちらに。
Hisui is as prepared as always. I thank her and take it in
行ってくれ。
hand.
見送りはいいから。
お待ちなさい。熱があるのに何をしているんですか、兄さんは。
This is weird because like it feels serious.
廊下は走らない。妹の言うことはきちんと聞くが我が家のルールです。おとなしく今で熱を測ってください。
It's weird because it feels a little comedic, but I know it's serious. It just still feels comedic though. Akiha has come to the lobby to stop me. But luckily for me, her reluctance to run indoors is slowing her down.
悪い。ルールを守るのはまた後で。
What the fuck is the deal with that? Wait, so if you just run in the house, she literally can't catch you because she's like the rules have been ingrained in her. Never run in the house for any reason.
熱も下がったし、このまま学校に行ってくる。朝飯は勝手になんとかするから、今朝は多めに見てくれ。
なんとかするって、ちょっと兄さん、待ちなさい。何ですかその言い分は。後で守るルールなんて、それじゃ規則とは呼べません。
Yeah, we're in full comedic mode, it feels like, even if it is a serious situation. In an effort to escape Akiha's objections, I burst out of the entrance. I clap my hands together and whisper a heartfelt apology to Akiha in my head. Honestly, I'm grateful that she's concerned for my well-being, but I can't just be like... By the way, whenever I look at you, I get so dizzy I feel like I'm gonna pass out. Not when she's so worried about my health, and who knows what kind of pain might be in store for me if I came clean. Breathing out a huge sigh, I finally settle down. I should be safe here. My assumption is that Akiha wouldn't be immature enough to drop her schedule to come after me.
けど、怒る理由がルールについてなのが秋葉らしいな。
It's weird that he calls it immature. How immature for somebody in your family to drop your schedule to look into somebody who is sick for the day, you know? Actually, I would say it's the other way around. It's kind of immature to continue your schedule. I don't know if... Okay, immature might not be the right word. Irresponsible, though. It is irresponsible for you to be like, well, I have my schedule, so I'm going to do that and prioritize that over my, taking care of my child, let's say, type of thing. Because Akiha kind of views you as, well, it's a weird thing. I mean, she's in a position of authority, so it's kind of easy to just kind of view her as just some parent, kind of, sort of, since she's in charge of the house and the rules. I laughed to myself, thinking back to what she said. She may be my sister, but I still can't tell where her boiling point is.
コンビニにでも寄っていくか。
It's funny that he says that, though, considering the fact that he was gone for 2 days and he didn't even get in trouble really at all. Like, oh, he got a slightly stern talking to. It's like very slight. Like, wow, you just got away with that scot-free. Like, sheesh. My wallet's not doing too hot, but I ought to at least eat something. Why am I only ever hungry on days like this? Usually I'd be fine skipping breakfast, but today I'm starving. I'll just grab something small to hold me over until lunch. Yeah, I don't know. Especially after everything we heard about Akiha being like an Ubermensch. It's so weird. Everything's weird now. Like, what the heck is going on? Like, oh yeah, you, the person who can move like crazy in less than a second, yeah, you're special, I guess. But Akiha is a demigod. Like, what? It's just like, I can't get over that. Like, a demigod or even like a minor god versus you are like a superhuman. Just a superhuman. So blasé or whatever. So whatever. It only takes a couple minutes to get in and get out of the store. I arrive at school 30 minutes earlier than usual. There aren't many students around. By my count, there's 2 or 3, including myself, though in as little as 10 minutes the front gate should be packed with students. Naturally, the guardrail is devoid of an unbelievably beautiful woman sitting in wait for someone. The teacher? I don't know. The athletic clubs are in the middle of their morning practice. I watch them out of the corner of my eye as I approach the entrance. Working up a sweat is actually pretty enjoyable. There's something about it that makes me feel alive, but I never wound up joining a club. I didn't want to burden anyone with my anemia. Plus, my doctor had strongly advised me to avoid strenuous exercise. When I was the first year, I was invited to join a few times, but I always told them, maybe next time. And each time I did, I felt the distance between us grow. In the end, maybe the feeling of not wanting to get involved with others became a self-defense mechanism. I mean, he could have joined like a poetry club or whatever, or writing or reading club or whatever. This isn't the time for silly sentimentality. I shout out some support to the clubs knee-deep in training before making my way to the main building. Okay. Oh, she is here. Isn't she supposed to be wearing glasses?
はい、ちょっと時間を間違えて。おはようございます、ノエル先生。
I run into Miss Noel on the way to the classroom. She seems just as surprised as me to see someone around at this time.
時間を間違えると遅刻するんじゃなくて、早くから登校しちゃうんだ。四季君はあれね、勤勉かね。今時の若い子ならもっと気楽に生きていいんじゃない？
It's funny that she says this because taking it easy would technically be getting to a place ridiculously early. That is the height of taking things like super lazily. in my opinion at least.
十分気楽にやってますよ。勉強好きでもありませんし。それより金曜日の無断欠席についてですけど。
Oh, he only missed school Friday? What about Thursday? Maybe I lost track of time. So it was only Friday? Okay.
ああ、俺ね。大丈夫。お家には連絡入れてないから。
Oh, so they didn't know that he missed school. Yeah, that would have been a lot more drastic of a big deal then. But, you know, so all they know is that he didn't show up Friday night or Saturday night. But he showed up Sunday morning. Okay.
たった一日のボイコットなんて普通だものね。四季君だってその方が都合が良かったでしょ?
Really weird that she's just like, yeah, no big deal. It's like, okay. Miss Noelle flashes a devious smile as she utters something I'd never expect to hear from a teacher. My savior, this must be what saved me from the full weight of Akiha's fury. Actually, isn't Miss Noelle being a bit too lenient for a teacher?
あ、四季君ったら頭固いんだ。先生は不真面目なわけじゃありません。生徒の自主性を尊重してのことです。だってみんなこんなにも若くて美味しそうなんですもの。一日ぐらい背伸びして遊びに行くのは仕方のないことだと思うの。
いえ、遊びに行っていたとかそういうんじゃなくて。
なんて冗談よ。分かってます。例の貧血でしょ。真面目な四季君が火遊びをするわけないものね。
Playing with fire.
それで
Well, wait, he was though. He was playing with fire though.
痛いところとか残ってない？
Man, I am really wondering when the switch is gonna flip with her. Because, I mean, she's clearly suspicious. I just have no idea how she fits into it all. I mean, obviously she'd have to... I mean, I could imagine her being a vampire, but, like, we're in the daytime, so no way. So she's got to be part of the church. And, okay, she's part of the church, but how does this come into this? Because, like, I don't think CL's... I don't know if CL ever saw her. I don't know, yeah. The whole church angle is really confusing me, because, like, there's 3 characters who I suspect are doing church stuff. And we don't know what their actual goal is. I mean, I guess now it would probably be to deal with Arcueid. Yeah, maybe they're just here for Arcueid. Like, sure, Vlad was bad, but Arcueid doing anything is a bigger deal. It sounds like she was genuinely worried about me. Miss Noelle actually wasn't too far off the mark with her joke, but I won't be correcting her.
貧血の方はなんとか。今朝は特に調子がいいです。
さあ、それはよかった。じゃあ今日から気楽な学生生活に戻れるわね。ところで、慢性的な貧血という話だけど、四季君はいつからそういう体質なの？やっぱり生まれつき？
It's funny that she says this, considering that I think normally people are born anemic. I don't think you become anemic. But maybe I'm wrong.
生まれつきではないんです。子供の頃に事故に遭って、それ以来というか。
まあ、それは気の毒に。それで運動をしなくなったり、食欲が薄くなったりしたのね。それで、どんなだったのかしら。
はい？
My voice slips out at the unexpected question. I like how he's like, excuse fucking me? What? Miss Noelle licks her glossed lips and speaks.
だから、どんな事故だったの？と聞いたの。体がおかしくなるぐらいの怪我だったんでしょ？やっぱりすごく痛くて、泣きわめくほど怖かったのよね。それこそ、一度死んで生まれ変わってしまうぐらい。
I want him to be like, actually, I don't remember it. But I don't know if he's even going to say anything here. An indescribable dread takes hold of me. Not from her insensitivity. It's been obvious from day one that she's a busybody, and I don't think she's great at reading the room. What makes me hesitate is that I don't remember a thing about the
ただ
accident.
の事故ですよ。こうして無事だし、大したことじゃありません。そろそろ時間だし、失礼します。
It's really funny, though, to say, I'm still here, so it can't have been too bad. And it's like, I mean, it could be a miracle that you survived, because it's a miracle you survived. You know? If it's not like it's a miracle that you died or something, you know? So, like, if you survived, that doesn't really indicate anything about how bad the accident was. You know, it's like, I think I've heard about, like, a plane crashing and one person surviving. And they didn't have, like, any scratches on them at all or anything like that. And it's like, yep, I'm sure the accident wasn't too bad, right? I bow before moving past Miss Noelle. Shiki. I turn around in response to hearing my name.
体調がいいのなら今日からしっかりね。これ以上無断欠席はしない方が身のためよ。
Okay. The returnee from France winks before leaving for the faculty room. I thought I'd be the first one here, but a few of my classmates are already in the room.
早いな、トノ。金曜どうしたん？おはよう。金曜は体調不良。そっちは朝練終わり？そうそう。放課後の部活動だけじゃなく、朝練まで自重しろって話になってきてさ。首相を交代したばっかだってのに、こんなんじゃ統率取れねえよ。なあ。
I guess because of the murders, maybe? Even the sports clubs are feeling the effects of all this vampire business. Though that'll change soon. That stuff is over now. Things should go back to normal. That is the weird part. Well, okay. To be fair, that whole craziness happened Saturday night, so it's only been technically 2 days. And nobody really knows what happened, I think. Like, I don't even know if the church knows that Vlad died. I mean, probably? I don't know. They probably know. 5 minutes till homeroom, just as I'm bracing myself for a full day of classes.
Yahoo! Saborima! Ohayou gozaimasu!
A voice from behind sends my peaceful morning shattering into 1,000 pieces.
Yes, 不良君。金曜日はナイス無断欠席でしたね。おかげで今朝また一段と元気ありそう。なんだよ、金土日と寝込んでたんじゃねえの？
That's the whole point. If you sleep the whole weekend away, then you'll recover by Monday. But okay.
寝込んでないし、貧弱でもない。金曜日はたまたま気分が悪くなっただけで、家に帰ったら回復したよ。面倒なんでそのまま学校は休んだけど。マジか。あの豪華なお屋敷でのんびりアンニュイライフとか、たった3日でお貴族様の仲間入りかよ。相変わらず気も太いっつうか順応性高いっつうか、ほんと住めば都なのな遠野は。めちゃくちゃ羨ましくねえ。
Arahiko puts up a brave front. I could probably learn a thing or two from him.
言っとくけど慣れてないぞ。お前な、あの家がどれだけでかいか見てないから。アリヒコ、遠野の屋敷知ってるのか？
He could invite him over.
いや、知らぬ。あんだけ高いところにあって、かつ周りは塀と林だろ。いや、デバガメ根性で見たいけどよ。でもほら、オタク、セキュリティとかおすごいんでしょ？
俺が知るか。ああ、いや、恵子さんの話じゃ年に数回泥棒騒ぎがあるらしいけど、遠野邸に警察が駆けつけたことなんかないって言ってたし。お前だって丘の上の屋敷に泥棒が入ったなんて話聞いたことないだろ。
お前、それ年に数回賊が押し入るのに警察が来ないって、それやばくね？あり地獄っぽくね？
I think it isn't because it's, well, whatever. I'll just say, even if magic wasn't involved, I don't even think there's anything that expensive in there. Or anything that obviously expensive. Like, there's no electronics. There's probably expensive furniture, but good luck getting that out, you know? So you're looking for small items, and I don't think we've seen anything. So It's like they break in, they look around, and it's like there's fucking nothing. There's fucking nothing in here at all. So unless they just literally go comb through the entire building, they would never find anything. And then they could leave and be like, there's nothing there, and then like, yeah, the owner knows, well, nothing was taken because there's nothing here, so whatever, don't call the cops. You know, just spend a little pocket money to replace the window or whatever. But magic's involved, so whatever. You think? If they're catching the burglars before the cops can even get to them, wouldn't that mean the place's security is top notch?
いやだからよ、そもそも外に出てきてねえんじゃねえの、その泥棒さん。
なるほど。それならどんな噂も広まらないか。
We nod our heads in agreement, afraid of where the train of thought might lead us. We quickly decide to change the subject.
そうそう、土曜の事故現場、もう見たか。北口駅前の大火事、地下からの出火だったって話。
いや、まだ見てない。話だけは聞いているけど。
I'm surprised that he said this considering I actually did go and check out the damage on Sunday. So he should have just said, yeah, actually I went over and walked over there on Sunday and yeah, a lot of damage. Cool, okay. You know, that's it, you know.
俺、北口に改装前のデパートあっただろ。あの前にあった公園がごっそり地下に陥没してる。あれひでえぜ。元に戻すの1年はかかるんじゃねえかな。
Yeah, it's kind of weird how big the crater was. Like, if you had to just fill it with dirt alone, that alone would just take a crazy amount of time in the middle of the city.
でもまあ、悪いことばかりじゃない。警備員やらテレビ局やらが押し寄せてるんで、北口のバカども、なりを潜めやがったからな。
そうなのか。じゃあ、倉見橋駅のホテルの話は？
倉見橋のホテルってあのドームホテル？ああ、そういえばあっちでも火災があったんだっけ。北口の壊れっぷりがすげえんで忘れてたわ。
I can't blame Arihiko for feeling so indifferent about it. An incident of that scale, which claimed so many lives, is still just a story from another town. Yeah, it's just like some building was on fire, but we didn't notice really. There was a giant explosion, but it's a big city, so we didn't get a bigger deal though. Never mind that there was a lot of cops that died, but nobody knows how many. We live in a time where we're flooded with news. Even when we hear something terrible, it's quickly overwritten by the next tragedy.
何にせよ、物騒なのは変わらねえってことか。そういうお前さんもどうなんだよ。当のは中学からこっち、貧血持ちのくせに学校だけは休まなかったじゃねえか。ま、登校した瞬間に帰るっていう離れ技は何度かあったけどな。
それと似たようなものだよ。交差点あたりまでは登校したんだけど、そこで気分が悪くなって帰ったんだ。弓塚といいお前といい、最近素行が悪いんじゃないか。素行が悪いっていうのは否定しないけど、弓塚さんどうかしたのか？
Yeah, I thought maybe something might happen with Yumizuka. I don't know what.
木曜からずっと欠席。今朝も来てね。あいつもずっと優等生してたからな。いい加減テンパってたのかもしれん。しかし振り点だから上がれないと。
What's that mean? Wait, oh, okay. Right, card analogy. I was like, looking good on the flop, but decided to fold on the river. Because like, they're at the end of their school career and now she's doing bad, but that's a weird thing to assume. Arihiko certainly has a way with words.
おっと、じゃ俺はこれで。さらばだ。金曜サボった分真面目に勉学に励むがいい。
Arihiko hurries out of the room. He seems excited about something. I'm guessing he's going to hide out in the nurse's office. It's his turn to ditch class, it seems. The moment lunch break begins, Arihiko reemerges, yawning. It's obvious he's been sleeping this whole time.
よく寝た。殿、飯食おうぜ、飯。
I'm positive Arhiko's mind runs on an endless loop. Eat, sleep, sex, repeat. Does he have sex ever?
そりゃ飯は当然のように食べるけど、いいのか、俺なんかに構って。あ？
先輩とランチだ。
Arhiko pulls a sour face at my question. She must have turned him down today. We eat lunch together. Arhiko is bright-eyed and bushy-tailed after his nap.
宗谷駅前で検索と、何の進展会もねえな。
Phone in hand, he scours the web looking for new information. Being disconnected from the world for even a few hours is a life-or-death matter. You'd think he was just addicted to his phone like every other teenager, but Arhiko's cut from a different cloth. To him, this isn't just a way of killing time. He's looking for ammunition to help him survive each night he spends prowling downtown.
また定番のコンビニレジ強盗ですか?
He prowls downtown at night? Isn't this, like, a big issue? Considering what happens at night?
店員、刃物で腹部を刺され重傷。犯人はアルコール依存症。言ったそう。酔っ払いに話通じねえもんな。やっぱ買い物は通販に限りますな。
Arihiko continues to work his way through his lunch as he messes around on his phone. The modern version of a father reading the paper during dinner. Yeah, maybe, I just realized, because, like, it's kind of weird that we didn't have a choice of where to eat our lunch. Maybe it's because we are now on the Arcueid route. Because, like, Ciel might be kind of disappearing from the story. Well, not, okay, disappearing from school life at least, maybe. Since I've kind of rejected her enough times at this point. Definitely. Enough times, actually. I think, yeah, like, pretty much at every turn I just was like, nah, I'm good, bye. Nah. Like, so, yeah, that makes sense. Even if it was only in 1 week, it was still, like, a lot of instances in 1 week. But now isn't the time for social critiques.
アリヒコ、食事時にその手のニュース読み上げるの楽しいか？
楽しくねえですよ。けど、世間に興味を持たない間抜けな友人のために世の中の聞いてますか、遠野くん。北口は倒壊するわ、酔っ払いは人を刺すわ、無差別に人を殺す通り魔はいるわ。他人事じゃねえかもなんだぜ。
それは確かに。でも通り魔事件はもう起きないんだ。北口の事故はどうしようもないけど、それ以外はいつも通りってことだろ。
How do you know?
そうなの？通り魔って捕まったんだ。
いや、捕まってはいないだろうけど。
Oh, the culprit is already dead. There will be no more tacky headlines in the news about a modern-day vampire roaming the streets, nor will anyone be killed so senselessly.
ともかく、もうあんなふざけた事件は起きないし、犠牲者も出ないってこと。街は元に戻ったんだよ。
しかし、
出ないよ。なんで断言できるんだよ、アリヒコは。
だって、おい、今朝で9人目の死体が発見されたって今ニュースで流れてる。
Arhiko shows me the screen of his phone. What? I can't believe my eyes. The site has a new update on the murders with a picture of the north side of Soya Station.
マジかよ。ここいつも行ってる映画館の裏じゃねえか？
待て、もう一度よく見せてくれ。
I take Arhiko's phone from his hand. It's not some crackpot theory or random hypothesis. The revelation has me stunned into silence. I mean, it is possible for somebody to die from like 2 days before and then gets found, but okay, sure. The revelation has me stunned into silence. He, Vlav, is dead. I killed him myself. Then why? How can there be more bodies drained of blood turning up?
しかし現代の吸血鬼か。
I'm kind of thinking it's going to be
相手が美人のお姉さ
Yumizuka.
んなら座れちゃってもいいんだがね。
Since Yumizuka's the only one missing. Could there be? I don't think there could be anyone else. I mean, it could be somebody that we don't know, but... Yeah, maybe Vlav turned Yumizuka on, like, Friday or something. Or Saturday. Like, turned her into a higher vampire. I forget which type of vampire that is.
美人の吸血鬼。
Beautiful vampire? Arhiko's words are like ice against my skin. Like what he's gonna think, it's her! She was lying! I wouldn't mind getting sucked dry by a beautiful lady. He's obviously kidding, but it doesn't feel like a joke to me.
事件はまだ終わっていない。
This isn't over. The discovery of a new victim means there's still a vampire in our midst. And if we were to use a process of elimination, who that vampire is should be abundantly clear, except that Arcueid literally called herself a true ancestor, not a vampire, and true ancestors are clearly not really vampires. But let's not go into that, I guess. Vlav is gone, which leaves only one vampire remaining, even though there's literally thousands in the world. But ignore that part. Ignore that part! Ignore it! There can only be one other vampire. Of course. Classes come to an end and school finishes for the day. Or maybe I should say school was over before I knew it. The worst possible assumptions had clouded my mind, and by the time I realized it, I was sitting alone in an empty classroom.
通り魔殺人はまだ続いている。
Before, I wouldn't have given it a second thought, but she said it herself. She's never killed any humans. I can't see her lying to me about that.
ニュースが間違いなのか。それとも
Only Arcueid would know the answer to that question. If I could just find her, I'm sure the pieces would all fall into place. That's why I don't understand what I'm thinking. This is no longer any of my business. When I finished off Vlav, I went back to my old life. I did my job. My part in this should be over. I have no reason to dive back in. Why would I go back to all that craziness of my own volition? I should just go on home, keep walking down this path as if nothing ever happened. I'll go home. That has to be the next best alternative. Though I've been taught since I was little to always choose the best option.
どんな人間だって人生ってのは落とし穴だらけなのよ。君はそれを何とかできる力があるんだから、もっとちゃんとしなさい。
そうだ。何もしないって選択だけはしちゃいけない。
Those words saved my life. I've always tried to live by them, so I can't pretend like this has nothing to do with me. This isn't over. Now that I've gotten myself involved, it's my responsibility to see this through to the end. I leave the school. Although I don't have any idea where she could be, I still have the key to her apartment, so I'll start there. Yeah, who knows? She could be there, I guess.
いないか。
The apartment looks the same as when I last left it, but Arcueid is nowhere to be seen. There are signs that she's been here, though. I'm relieved that she hasn't just disappeared into thin air. I mean, you don't know that, but okay. There's evidence she's been here. It's like, well, she could have, like, came back, picked up some stuff or whatever, and then just left, but okay.
そう簡単に捕まえられるなんて思ってない。とにかく今は行動をあるのみだ。
I could wait for her here, but there's no knowing if she'll be coming back. I'll probably have to look for her in town, just like how I first met her. How about go home, since the sun is setting? Just go home, man. Okay. And we're back to the Arcueid thing of just, I just won't go back home now. Yeah, just, like, he doesn't even think for a second, oh, but what about, um, what about, following the rules of the house? You think that he should be, like, grateful for Agiha or something, or, want to, like, follow the rules a little bit, but man, he just doesn't care, does he? Like, at the very least, go back to the house and say, hey, I want to do some stuff, like hang out in town. I don't know. I don't know. The sun sets over the city, paving the way for night to reveal itself. I take a look around all of the major spots, but I don't manage to catch a hint of Arcueid.
どうでもいい時はひょこひょこ歩いてたくせに、どうしてこういう時に見つからないんだ、あいつは。
What do I do? It's so early in the evening. I'll wander the city for a bit, go back to the mansion and think things through. Sheesh. I mean, honestly, I feel like he could just yell Arcueid and she'd probably show up because she probably has super hearing. But we won't go into that. Anyway, we're going to go back to the mansion. At this point, I don't know like what correct choices there are. Other than wandering the city seems kind of random, like just... And do what, Like, do you know where to go? No, he doesn't, so... It actually sounds like it could lead to a dead end. Like, he just randomly runs into some zombies and it's like, oh no! That easily. Oh wow, it's only 7 o'clock? Okay. This has always been a quiet street, but once night falls, it's almost completely silent. It's weird that he gets told, come back before the sun goes down, but then also... was told the 8 o'clock thing, and ever since he was told about the 8 o'clock thing, he's like, 8 o'clock. But what about the sundown thing? No, 8 o'clock. This has always been in quiet street, but once night falls, it's completely silent. I'm about to press the call button to get the gate unlocked when I remember that it's just about before dinner. I'm sure Kohaku and Hisui are in the kitchen right now, and I don't want to bother them. Okay. I'll use the key card I have to get through the side gate. Okay. It had left my mind completely. I remember what happened this morning as I passed through the gate. Could Akiha still be angry about me leaving in a hurry? Yahweh, she's not an adult? No way, she's not a kid. These are so... Yahweh, no way. I love this. Well, it's weird because Akiha's in the middle of changing how she acts. She was acting all super strict when we first met her, and now she's acting pretty much like a normal little sister, pretty much. I don't know what this would affect, how this would affect things, so we will go with this one, because assuming the worst is still better than nothing,
Yeah.
Akiha's not exactly... Wow, he barely said anything. Akiha is not exactly the most mature person out there. I think he was like, yeah, right, I think is what the actual dialogue was, but then they just add that. If anything, all this time has probably only let her anger simmer and boil. Running away from my perfectionist sister has likely lit an unquenchable flame inside her that will continue to rage until it's doused. She's definitely not someone you want to make an enemy of. I mean, I don't know what she would do. Like I said, I have yet to actually see her do anything. Like, at this point... Shiki is extremely selfish and just does whatever the heck he wants. And I think he has yet to actually be punished. Except that he didn't get food one day when he actually did need it. And he got his phone taken away, but that's a complicated, weird thing. Because part of that was actually the writer. I have no idea what all those phone dialogue parts were in the original version, when the original version takes place in 2000, the year 2000, and this one takes place in, what, 2009, I think, or something? But it's been 12 hours since the shenanigans this morning. Comparing her anger to a balloon about to burst would be a grievous understatement. Really? I can't wait for her to get angry, because I'm actually expecting her to just... Like, here's the thing. At the end of the day, she is acting elegant and stuff, so I just don't see her getting super, super angry. Maybe the game's just how angry she can get, because I think she's only gotten angry, like, once or twice, and even then, I don't even know. She like had like maybe a sentence or two that was a little louder than normal, and that's about it.
ちょっと頭痛い。自称吸血鬼だって言い張る女より、うちの妹の方が迫力あるとか。
I sigh as I mull over the mess I'm in. It's not like things will get any better with me standing here shaking in my boots. I brace myself for whatever calamity is waiting me and open the door. Thank you. The build-up is a little silly.
Tadaima.
I entered the lobby, trying to sound as natural as possible. That's strange. I can hear voices from the parlor. It's just before dinner. It's odd that anyone would be in the parlor at this time. I mean, it could be a guess, but okay. Gohaku should be in the kitchen, and I can't exactly see Hisui and Akiha chatting with one another. I mean, I can, but not often.
Akihaのやつ、琥珀さんとお茶でも飲んでるのかな?
Either that or we have a visitor. Just as I'm about to head over to the parlor and find out for myself, Hisui exits the room. Could she be coming to greet me after hearing me arrive home? Something about her expression seems off, like she's gloomier than usual.
遅くなったけど、ただいまHisui.
Hisui stares at me blankly. She doesn't even give me a welcome home.
何かあった？気のせいか怒っているように見えるんだけど。
四季様にお客様です。先ほどから居間でお待ちですので、どうぞお急ぎください。
I hope it's not the bandaged guy. I'm kind of... Imagine if it was Arcueid. That would be crazy. I hope it's Arcueid. I mean, she knows where I live. Hisui nods. That's weird. Why would I?
俺を訪ねに来るやつなんていないはずだけど。引っ越したことを知ってるのはアリヒコぐらいだし。
I mean, it could be.
最近知り合いになったやつもいな。
It could be Arihiko. It could be. It could be. Honestly, I don't know which is more likely. I don't know. I guess we'll see. But it's funny because I feel like Arihiko acts very similarly to Arcueid. I guess we'll see. As long as it's not the bandaged guy. That's all I care about. Wait a second. A terrible feeling washes over me.
Hisui, それどんなやつ？
金色の髪をした、綺麗な女性の方です。
Nani? There's only one person I know who fits that description. My reflexes take over. I break into a dash, sprinting towards the parlor as fast as my legs will carry me. And then it's somebody else. That would be interesting. I swing open the door and enter the room of death. But it's already too late. There's no stopping this now. My end is nigh.
あら、お帰りなさい、兄さん。今夜もまた定例通り遅かったですね。
あ、やっと帰ってきたな、こいつめ。妹さんばかりか私まで待たせるとか、やっぱり普段から横暴なのね。
Yeah, I feel like them two being in the room is not a good idea. Just a little. I know what this feeling is. This must be how a captive feels when they're forced to plead for their life with a gun pointed at the back of their head, like in an action movie. Words fail me. I am unable to come up with any kind of response. I can't believe Arcueid and Akiha are face to face in the same room. They're both sitting on the sofa like there's nothing amiss at all. Well, I mean, they were arguing earlier, but okay. Though unlike Arcueid, who seems perfectly calm, Akiha has bitter contempt written all over her face. Akiha glances at me.
どうしたんですか、兄さん。そんなところに立っていないで。
I want him to just leave the room. It's like, nah, I'm good, bye. No way. I inch a little closer to the sofa, but the feeling that I might be stabbed by a knife keeps me from moving any nearer.
ここでいいです。それよりアキハ、こいつはだな、
How do I even begin to explain? I doubt I can get away with calling her a classmate, and saying she's someone I met in town would probably just make things worse. Why can't he just call her a classmate though, actually? I don't see a problem with that necessarily. Although her being blonde is like alarm bell, not Japanese, must kill or something. Go on. Akiha's glare pierces into me. I can tell I'm not going to be let off the hook here. God, I don't think there's anything I can say that'll dig me out of this hole. So I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings or disturb what little peace I've found. There's got to be a way to explain. But what's she even doing here in the first place? How can she sit there smiling away like that? I can't imagine Akiha would let someone she's never met before into the parlor.
その前にいいかな。こいつなんて言ってやってきたの
Arcueid tilts her head in confusion.
兄さんのご友人ではないんですか？この方はそう自称しましたが。
ああ、うん。友人といえば友人。
Yeah, you can say that, yeah.
そうですか。私にも紹介していただけると嬉しいわ。兄さんのご友人でしたら、無下にお帰りいただくわけにはいきませんし。
それはですね、アキハさん。
I mumble.
友人ね。
Arcueid works her way into the conversation, probably tired of being ignored.
あんなひどいことしておいて、そういうこと言うんだ。私、まだ体が痛いんだけど。
My head whirls. Now this is some vertigo. Yeah, wait. So yeah, what happened to him looking at Akiha and getting vertigo this morning? But then suddenly he's not getting it now, or maybe he's about to get it here. Floored, I find myself decoupled from reality with astonishing speed, like he literally faints. Okay, no, okay, maybe not.
それはどういった意味でしょうか？私の兄が身体面、あるいは精神面においてあなたに危害を加えたとでも？失礼ですが。ご自分がどれほど信憑性のない発言をしているか理解していますか？
ええ、バッチリね。でも安心して、そんなのもう気にしていないから。ちゃんと体で返してもらったし。なので、どうぞお構いなく。私はシキを誘いに来ただけだもの。すぐに出かけるわ。ね、そうでしょ、シキ。
Okay. Shit, this is bad. The more she talks, the shorter my lifespan gets. I force a laugh as I make for Arcueid, grabbing her hand.
ちょっとシキ、急に何するのよ。
There's no time to listen to her complaints. Dragging Arcueid by the arm, I bolt out of the parlor, leaving a stunned Akiha behind. Hisui is waiting in the lobby. I wonder what she's thinking, seeing me with Arcueid in tow. I have the hunch I won't like the answer, so I'll worry about that later.
お出かけですか？シキさん。
Going out? Going out, Shiki?
不本意ながらすっごく申し訳ないんだけど、玄関の鍵は開けておいてほしい。
はい、かしこまりました。
Hisui's just like, have a good time at your fuck fest. I hurry past the bowing Hisui and try to get away from the mansion as fast as possible. Approaches the building, is scared that Akiha will be too mad after he bolted out of the house, out of the building before, then does the exact same thing that night. Like, interesting. That hurts. What are you doing dragging me outside all of a sudden? I've never heard a stupider question in my life.
お前こそ何のつもりだよ。真正面からうちの屋敷に来るなんて正気じゃないぞ。もしかして俺の生活をぶっ壊すつもりなのか、このバカ女。
バカ。
バカ女って、あなた私をバカにしてるの？
バカをバカって言ってんだから、それ以外何があるって言うんだ、バカ。反論があるなら聞いてやるから言ってみろ。
He said baka a lot more times, so I'm right there. He clearly said, I'm calling a stupid a stupid. But instead it gets translated to a spade a spade. Like, it's okay if you just directly translate it, it's fine. Huh? Wait, what? I'm actually livid. I've never been in such an infuriating situation before. I have to give her a piece of my mind. Otherwise, I won't be able to let this one go.
何よ。私は式に会いに来ただけじゃない。そんなに怒られるようなことしてな。
会いに来ただけって。アルクエイド、お前本気で言ってるのか。
そうだけど、何よ。何の問題もないからね。魔眼も使ってないし、極めて人間的なアプローチしたんだし。
I keep forgetting that she has mystic eyes because I think she never uses them pretty much. Yeah, they're like never useful seemingly. Like
式の妹さんにだって式の目のことも私が吸血鬼であることも
Oh,
ちゃん
that's
と黙って
true.
た
You
わけ
know,
なんだ
I
から
didn't think about it. I didn't think about the fact that Akiha doesn't know that he has the mystic eyes of death perception. I like how I just auto-completed to say the mystic eyes of depth perception. Wow. With my eyes, I can see in 3D. It's like, brother, that's normal?
そこは言わなくてもわかる。そっちの話に関しちゃ常識ありそうだからな、お前。
わかんないな。それじゃあなんでそんなに怒ってるのよ、あなた。
そっちがあんまりにも考えなしだからだよ。この際だからはっきり言っておくぞ。周囲の目を考える、自分の特徴を自覚する。頼むからもうちょっとおとなしめに行動すること。お前はいるだけで目立つんだから。
Phew, I feel better now that I've said what I need to be said, and we are going to ignore those giant fox ears on her head now. Though Arcueid, who'd been on the receiving end of it, seems to be the complete opposite. She glares at me like a pouting cat.
何よ、勝手なことばっかり言って。だいたいいるだけで目立つってどうしてよ。私、外見は人間と変わらないでしょ。
Like, if her hair was red, black, when I was thinking about her red eyes, I'm like, are those actually red eyes? I don't know. But if her hair was actually black, would she just be a normal human? Or a normal Japanese person, maybe? Maybe a little too fancy.
美人はいるだけで目立つんだよ。人間であるかどうかなんて関係ない。
I replied to her frankly. Maybe it's because I gave her a straight answer, but Arcueid readily accepts it.
まあ、こっちも言い過ぎた。こういう修羅場は初めてだったから、気が動転してたんだ。
別にいいよ。悪かったのは私の方みたいだし。
Arcueid bows her head in a show of honest remorse. Somehow I'm starting to feel guilty for thinking she may have had some ulterior motive.
で、どうしてうちに来たりしたんだ。いや、俺もお前に話があったから渡りに船だけど。
そうなの？私は単に式はどうしてるのかなって様子を見に来ただけなんだけど。
Just hanging out, you know?
そうか、興味本位か。次は木の陰にでも隠れてこっそり見に来てくれ。できるだけ誰にも見つからないように。できれば俺にも見つからないように。
I feel exhausted all of a sudden. Though this isn't exactly the first time I've been caught up in one of Arcueid's little whims. And the fact that she didn't tell Akiha anything means she at least put some consideration into my position here.
ともかくだ。真剣に話したいことがある。ここじゃ落ち着かないから場所を変えたいんだけど、いいか？
いいけど、話って何よ？
すぐにわかる。そうだな。そろそろ人気もなくなるし、公園あたりがいいかもしれない。
I motion toward the road and start walking. Arcueid tilts her head in curiosity, but follows after me without a word. He's like, I'm the alpha around here. We do what I want to do. It's really weird how at the beginning of the story, he's like at the whims of everyone else, and now suddenly... I mean, Arcueid has already slowly been just acquiescing to our every demand more and more. But with Akiha, yeah, like after I was gone for 2 days and came back, she suddenly is like acting like her age, I suppose you could say. So that's kind of weird. I wonder if that gets explained in a different route or something. Or maybe she was like, oh no, I was being too strict on him, and he distanced himself from me, so I better be, nicer or less strict on him. Maybe, is what she's thinking. I could see that. Probably.
吸血鬼のこと。お前、前に言ったよな。巷を騒がしている通り魔殺人は吸血鬼の仕業だって。
Arcueid nods.
それじゃあ、今朝のニュースで新しい犠牲者が出たっていうのは知ってるか？昨日の夜に通り魔に殺されて血を抜かれたらしいんだけど。
She narrows her eyes. I can tell I've stepped on thin ice. One wrong step will be the end of me.
それでって、お前。
I swallowed nervously. Arcueid peers right at me. Her eyes tell me that she's ready to pounce at the slightest movement.
おかしいじゃないか、アルクエイド。ブローブは死んだ。なのに、どうしてまだ吸血鬼騒ぎが起こる？
There's no point in me asking this, but I'm still gonna ask it.
あれは。
Just say, I know it wasn't you, so who could it be? Just say that. If this is your doing...
もう、そんなわけないでしょ。それは私じゃなくて、他の吸血鬼の仕業よ。
Arcueid interjects, slicing through the tension. A strange happiness wells up in my throat, but I shouldn't get my hopes up yet. It's great that it was another vampire, but there's still a couple things that don't make sense.
他の吸血鬼の仕業って、そう次から次へと吸血鬼が出てくるのか？
I mean, yes.
まさか。
Technically.
あの事件は初めから一人の吸血鬼の仕業よ。
I mean, there's a lot of vampires, but sure, okay, whatever.
この町を食い物にする新しい吸血鬼なんてやってこないし、ブローブだってあの事件には全く関係ないわ。
Oh, okay. That's funny. That's funny. I was confused though, because like Vlav mostly just seemed like he either sets bodies on fire and then turns them into zombies, or sucks their blood and turns them into zombies. So yeah, there shouldn't have been a body to recover, right? Presumably. But again, I don't know if there's any difference between sucking their blood and making them a zombie versus sucking their blood and maybe they don't always become a zombie or something. Vlav was never connected?
関係ないって、それどういう意味だよ。
言った通りの意味だけど、もう仕切って切れるようでどこか抜けてるのね。いい？確かにブローブは吸血鬼だったけど、あいつは人の血を吸っていた？
Yes.
吸っていたかって当然だろ。あいつはあんなに人間を片っ端から燃やして。
So that's it. How did I not notice something so obvious? The bodies left behind by the serial killer had been drained of blood, but they were otherwise unscathed. But Vlav was different. He burned his victims. He drank their blood too, but draining them was never his modus operandi. I guess technically, maybe he didn't. I don't know. I don't know what the difference is between draining them of blood versus drinking their blood. What's the difference, you know? Come to think of it, the victims at the hotel weren't connected to the serial murders. They were treated as casualties of a fire, which means Vlav must not have had any connection to the serial murders to begin with. And then she's like, I don't know. It's probably not a vampire. This is the part where you start thinking that the Shiki maybe is the one behind the killings, and he just doesn't even realize it.
だからあの事件はブローブとは別の吸血鬼の仕業なの。私はその吸血鬼を殺すためにこの町にやってきたわ。
Wait. Wait, what? What? Wait. No, wait. She was here to kill a vampire, and she was here to kill the vampire who was who was being the serial murderer. But Vlav just showed up out of nowhere, unrelated to everything else, apparently. I could have sworn that I could have sworn that she said... Man, I gotta go back and read what she said, because I could have sworn that she herself linked them together. Good time to read.
グローブが来た理由は、ちょっとあやふやになってきたわね。
Things are complicated, okay?
てっきり私を追いかけてきた一人かと思ったけど、グローブにはそれだけの理性、使徒社会における協調性はなかったみたいだし。
Yeah, that's why it made more sense that he was the one behind it, to some extent.
ま、そのあたりはもういっか。グローブは死んだんだし。
I mean, it's also confusing because it's not like you had to be one of the dead apostles in order to be a quote-unquote vampire. Like, there were 3 levels before a dead apostle in which they still keep their sanity, but they're vampires. So it's like, well, it could just be one of them. That's why it's weird when they're saying, well, vampires aren't super common, but also there were 2 in this town unrelated to each other here for completely different reasons. Like, okay.
とにかくグローブとこの町に救っている吸血鬼は別物よ。グローブは正真正銘無関係の第三者。私、標的がグローブだなんて言わなかったでしょ？
I thought you did, but I guess not.
グローブにとっての標的は私だったけど、私にとっての標的はこの町で通り魔と言われている吸血鬼だけよ。
This is the first time I'm ever seeing the word soil slasher.
シキ、まさかとは思うけど、ものすごく単純な勘違いしてたとか？
It's really stupid for her to say this though when you remember the first night we met her, okay, not the first night, but like when we agreed to work with each other, we were immediately attacked by Vlovs, or I thought at least that they were, and then that night we went to that hotel, and then we were attacked by Vlov while we were guarding Arcueid from being attacked, because she might get attacked while she's asleep, and she was attacked by Vlov. Like, you got your wires crossed. Like, this is... it's just like... Huh? And then suddenly... Yeah, so like we've never encountered the Soya slasher, but we were attacked by Vlov constantly, immediately after we both met each other. Right. Now, to be fair, I was thinking that Vlov maybe just came here to get killed. So he like heard that she came over here to kill the Soya slasher, and then he came over just so she would instantly kill him because he just wanted to die, maybe. I'm just assuming he wanted to die just from the little bit I could tell, but it was hard to say entirely. I swallow nervously. Arcueid's not right, but whatever. She said her goal was to kill the vampire, which I just assumed was Vlov because Vlov attacked us immediately after she said her goal was to kill the vampire. Not really. I mean, Vlov was still gonna blow up the town or whatever the fuck.
無意味じゃないわ。シキは私の代わりに戦ってくれたんじゃない。
You don't need to word it that way.
ま、シキさえ私を殺さなかったらその必要もなかったでしょうけど。
The exhaustion hits me with such that it feels like my knees will give out at any second. It was all pointless. Killing Vlov changed nothing in the end. There's still a vampire in town, and even if it was just for a split second, I tried to pin the blame on Arcueid. I don't know why you tried to do that for even a second. Shit, disappointment and self-loathing swirl around in my head.
悪い。しつこいけど、最後に確認させてくれ。ブローブは吸血鬼殺人には関係なくて、ここ1ヶ月街を騒がしているのは別の吸血鬼ってことだな。
Maybe it's because I wasn't paying enough attention, but I don't remember hearing that the Soya slasher has been doing this for the last months. And if he's been doing this for the last month, then it was always obviously not Vlov, considering Vlov can burn down buildings on a whim. Like, he can kill as many people as he wants whenever he wants. So, like, there's a pretty big difference between here's somebody who's killing one person a night randomly versus here's Vlov who burns down entire buildings to get to one person, You know, there's a pretty big difference there.
そういうこと。でもこれは私が済ませる問題だから式は気にしないでいいよ。
Oh, okay.
そんなことよりね
え。Arcueid looks at me, a wide smile brimming across her face.
なんだよ。言っておくけど、ものすごく余裕がないぞ、俺。
My feelings are all over the place right now. Anything she says could knock me right off my feet.
ちょっとした疑問よ。二人でブローブを倒した時のこと。ねえ、なんで3分だったの？
なんでって何が？
式、3分しか時間はないって言ってたじゃない。どうして3分なのか全然わからなくて。
I didn't know the reason either. He just was like, I can be superhuman for 3 minutes. And it's like, why?
な、言っただろ。あそこは海の底みたいなものだって。だから3分しか無理だって言ったんだ。
That's not an explanation at all. And also, what's that supposed to mean? That place was like the bottom of the ocean. Like, what's that supposed to mean? What?
海の底だと3分なの？
Yeah, right? Like, as silly as that is that she just said, that is also literally what he just said. That was a close one. If I was feeling like my usual self, I would have shot back with something snarky.
まあ、そうだよ。人間はお前みたいなのと違って、それぐらいしか水に潜っていられないの。
Then why are you comparing the Vlav fight to being at the bottom of a sea?
何よ。私だってちょっとは寒かったわ。海の底だって何時間も潜ってたら退屈だし。
I was chilly, she says. Meanwhile, I genuinely thought I was dead.
下を向いてどうしたの？
いや、ちょっとめまいがして。気にしなくていや、気にしてくれ。
Yeah, I just realized it feels like the sound is a little low. I think we can increase sound effects a little. But, wait, oh, this is system effects. Oh, sorry. Whatever. Wait a second. Wait, everybody's at 50%? Okay, I'm gonna switch the... Yeah, I'm gonna increase the volume. Hopefully it's not too overbearing. I guess we can always change it later. It's just like, I know it's background music, but I still feel like background music should be at like 90% and voices should be at 100%. But since they've changed the sound mixing in this from usual games, it's a little weird. Don't worry about it, just feeling a little dizzy. Actually, you should worry about it.
実際海に潜ったら3分だって怪しいからな。人間はか弱いんだから頑丈なお前と一緒にするな。吸血鬼は吸血鬼同士我慢比べでもやっててくれ。
I wave Arcueid off with one hand as I cradle my head with the other.
ま、今さら言っても始まらないか。お前たちが化け物じみてるのは身に染みてるし。いい、ブローブのことは俺がバカだった。それよりアルクエイド。
I calm myself and begin to say something, but when I look up, what's that expression on her face?
アルクエイド。
何よ、式の意地悪。どうせ私は人間じゃないですよーだ。
Arcueid turns the other way in a huff and starts walking.
おい、ちょっと待て。どこ行く気だよ。
人間な式には関係ない。ついてこないでよね。
Arcueid storms off without even a glance in my direction. She seems genuinely upset. Man, where is she going? I must have struck a nerve. Looking back, maybe I was being a little unfair. Let me go look at what I said. Don't worry. So looking at the ground, don't worry about it, feeling dizzy. No, worry about it. We're not like you vampires. We can die easily. So I guess that's not going to fix anything in there. You're really strong. Vlav. The Vlav thing was me being dumb. Arcueid. I don't understand. Yeah, sorry. I'm struggling to connect the dots here. There's some translation thing going on. I was being a little unfair. I didn't even say anything mean. Yeah. He was just stating, you're a vampire. I'm a human. You have different strengths than me. And I was just being weird for believing that Vlav was the one behind everything. Did I? Considering how mad she is, I feel like I must have earned it. Like, really earned it. In fact, I kind of feel like an asshole. Am I the asshole? I rush after the white silhouette in front of me, not just because I feel guilty. In case she's forgotten, we still have important things to discuss. Arcueid walks through the night, full of purpose. Her golden hair flutters in the air. She looks the same as she did when I first laid eyes on her. The same as when she first faced Vlav amid all that collapsed rubble. Gone is the tenderness I felt a second ago. She has the air of a hunter stalking its prey, her movements now sharp and deliberate. Arcueid doesn't respond. She continues marching forward. The White Huntress doesn't stop. I can't back down, but I also can't manage to do anything else for now, so I follow behind her silently. We walk in complete silence except for the sound of our footsteps. Until, that is, Arcueid comes to an abrupt halt and turns toward me.
あなたみたいな普通の人間にいられると迷惑だってわからない。
人間で悪かったな。何をしているのか教えてくれたら帰るよ。
式には関係ないからほっといて。
Arcueid twirls around and begins walking away. Well, damn. It looks like I'm getting the silent treatment again. Sheesh. This looks foreboding. We leave the shopping district and come to an underpass when Arcueid stops suddenly. Arcueid's voice is cold. She sounds like a completely different person. A shiver trickles down my spine. Even from behind, I can tell by her posture how ready she is to fight. Doing, I don't say it. I know exactly what she's doing without having to ask. A pure, unbridled hostility flows from her, freezing the air. The church? I guess we'll see. Arcueid doesn't answer. Her gaze is fixed on a perfectly normal-looking man in a suit.
メガネを外してあの人間を見てみなさい。
あの人間って前に。
早く。私が何をしているか知りたいのなら質問は後よ。
Yeah, she's looking for vampires that look like normal humans. Maybe.
あんまり街中で見たくはないんだけど。
I remove my glasses. My temples throb. In exchange for the pain, the lines running across the ground and walls come dimly into view.
確認しておくけど、あなたの線は生物の方がはっきり見える？
ああ、その方がより確かに見える。
でしょうね。あなたは生物だから鉱物の死を理解できない。形の上の摩耗というカテゴリーの結果は見えても、鉱物たちにとっての終わりは見えない。そのためには彼らと同じ視点、同じ価値観を得なくてはいけない。死を見るためには命を理解しないといけないから。
That's a little weird to say that, though, considering the fact that he can still cut vampires. Like, how does he understand how a vampire lives? I mean, I guess technically on a very basic level, maybe. I feel like this is going to be a plot point later.
それじゃあついでに聞くけど、今の式から見て、あのに。
I don't see how he'd be any different. I step back by reflex. What is that? Every human being has lines on them. Most only have a few, though, which gently trace their bodies in geometric patterns. What the fuck is that? We already know that. It's just like the dogs and stuff. It's a familiar, basically. An underling of a vampire. The lines are scrawled across his entire body, like bulging veins and arteries. The man's covered in them. I can't even see what he looks like under them all. I want to throw up. He's backwards. That's not a person with lines. It's as if the lines themselves have assumed the human form.
式にはどう見える？私としては式には普通の人間に見えていてほしいんだけど。
I'm unable to give Arcueid an answer. It takes all my focus to not vomit.
そう。残念ね。式はあれにも死を見てしまっているなんて。
あ、なんか普通とは違う。けど線は見えてる。
やっぱり死者さえ殺せるのね、あなたは。
I mean, I thought the dog familiars were also undead or whatever. Okay.
命があるなしの問題さえ無関係。動いているもの、破壊できるものなら例外なく停止させる。何よ、本当の化け物はあなたの方じゃない。シキが見ている通り、あれはもう人間とは呼べないわ。死という負債も他人の血でごまかし続ける吸血鬼だから。
Arcueid quickens her pace. She makes a beeline for the unexceptional-looking man.
おい、アルクエイド。
シキはそこにいて。
The man disappears from sight, perhaps having become aware of Arcueid. Or to be precise, the thing leaped away with inhuman speed. He flees deeper into the safety of the darkness beneath the tracks. Arcueid is already nowhere to be seen. She's left the refuge of the rusted lights to follow the man into the darkness. Thump. I can feel my heartbeat in my ears. It's still early in the evening. A car passes by with its headlights blazing. A train rattles along overhead. Despite all this noise, I lose the sense of anyone around me. My glasses. I need to get my glasses back on right now. If I don't, I'll see something far worse. Something so dark, so terrifying it'll make the things I've seen pale in comparison. I wonder what that means. But my body won't move. My eyes eagerly gaze into the darkness, as if drawn to the patchwork world that Arcueid has entered. You know, we're doing the whole, when you gaze into the abyss gazes back at you moment. I blink and silence envelops me. The wind, even the smell of the earth. It's like everything has been frozen in place. Screeching. Under the ice-cold moon, an eerie noise emanates from beyond the shadows. Grinding. I shouldn't be able to see anything, or even hear. Squelching, but I did see it. My eyes catch a glimpse of the moment death meets death. My vision turns vermilion. How is it possible that these eyes see death even in pitch darkness? My glasses. If I don't get them on this minute, I think I'll lose it. Fighting off the urge to vomit, I slip on my glasses with trembling hands. I just keep thinking, my glasses! I can't see without my glasses. I'm just like Velma. Light and sound return. I steel myself and scan my surroundings, but find nothing out of place under the tracks. Nobody around. A couple cars maybe, but it's still just a normal city at night. A pocket of civilization where humans can live, sheltered from danger, an oasis where no harm shall ever befall them. I have trouble breathing. Even with my glasses on, the creature's death lingers in my peripheral vision, making me thick. That's weird. Out of the darkness emerges Arcueid. Her footsteps unsteady. She's breathing even harder than I am.
式。そっか、まだ残ってたんだ。
Arcueid averts her grimacing face and sways past me. Her steps seem weak and frail. To be honest, I still haven't gotten over my own nausea. But seeing Arcueid in such pain, that's now the least of my worries.
待てよ。一体どうしたんだお前。
I grab Arcueid's shoulder as she tries to leave. Arcueid turns slowly, her eyes flat.
大丈夫よ。少し疲れただけだから構わないで。
I mean, I guess she's still recovering, probably, from the fight.
式には全然関係がないんだから。
バカ、疲れているなら休め。変に汗かいてるし、どう見ても重症だぞ。
I take hold of her arm as I try to control my own breathing.
何よ、そういう式だって今にも倒れそうな顔してる。
俺のはただの貧血、いつものことだ。人を気にしてる余裕があるなら自分の体も気遣えよ。
いいのよ、どうせ気遣っても無駄なんだから。
Arcueid's breathing is so weak it pains me to hear.
まさかお前あの時の傷。
I can't finish the question. She got that wound protecting me. Arcueid casts her eyes downward, refusing to answer. That must be a yes.
もう何度言わせるんだこのバカ。そんな体でおとなしくできないのか。
おとなしくしてるつもりなんだけどな。
全然してない。人間離れしてるからって治りきってないのに出歩くやつがいるか。
This is making me realize just how angry I am. I can't let her do this. I can't abandon her no matter how much trouble she is.
お前本当に何してんだよ。ほら黙ってないで答えろ。話してくれるまでお前から離れないからな。
I grab her by the shoulders. Her eyes remain downcast, but she manages a slight nod.
もう割としつこいのね。いいわ。それじゃあ場所を変えましょう。頼む。
Arcueid brushes away my hands and spins onto her heel. We're not headed for the shopping district, it seems. Instead, she guides me toward the park. Oof. We arrived soon enough. Did her injuries heal on the way here? She appears to be back to her usual self.
あっさり元に戻ってるし。もしかしてさっきは油断して傷を負ったとかいうオチじゃないだろうな。
え？違うよ。傷が治りかけなのは本当だってば。
治りかけなのは本当だ。本当じゃないことも言ったってことだよな。
何その言い方、すっごくいやらしいんですけど。
お前の言動が怪しすぎるんだよ。文句があるならさっき何をしてたのか話してみろ。大方予想はついてるけど何をあんな痛がってたんだ。
さて、それじゃあ式のお望み通り私が何をしていたかを話してあげましょう。
She's clearly doing this to change the topic. Then again, this is what I wanted to know. How she's feeling can wait for the time being. Let me increase the volume a little. Like, it's pretty good right now, but it kind of makes me wonder if this would be too much. We'll see. Maybe I'll bring it down to like 90 or 85, but we'll see this. How she's feeling can wait for the time being.
じゃあ確認からさせてくれ。さっきのやつは吸血鬼の手足になってる死者だな。あれの大元がお前の本当の敵。
Well, we already knew that. That was obvious.
なんと今度は話が早いのね、式。
そいつはどうも。俺だって少しは頭は回るからね。さっきの話で大体の事情は飲み込めて。
I'm not as dumb as I look. Like, really?
うん、良きかな良きかな。 四季の可愛い勘違いはブローブのことだけってことね。
可愛いって言うな。仕方ないだろ。あの時は自分のことだけで手一杯だったんだから。
自分のことだけで手一杯ね。ま、そういうことにしておいてあげましょう。
Arcueid twirls around like something's fun about all this and peers into my face. What's with her?
いいから話。さっきの男はもうとっくに死んでいたんだな。
そうよ。あれはあいつのしもべだから始末しただけ。下級の使者だったけど、それでも放っておくと人間を殺して力を蓄えられてしまうから。四季、ホテルで話した吸血鬼の話覚えてる？
Honestly, no. I wish that there was like a freaking like a card just to keep track of it. Of course I nod. The ecology of vampires. Castellans and the hierarchy of their subjects. Sires hunt and kill humans to turn them into minions, and they hide away while those minions gather blood for them. Arcueid also spoke about the difference between Castellans and the older types of vampires. Immortal, weak to the sun, stereotypical vampires.
それはもう教えてもらった。じゃあ、お前の追っている敵とやらが殺人事件の吸血鬼で間違いないんだな。
You know, there is like a little bit of a muted, a little bit of a muted thing going on with the audio. So I think I'm going to drop it down to 85. I do wonder what the recommended settings are, though. I just noticed this right here. But whatever. You're sure that the vampire you're after is the one behind all the killings?
ええ、間違いないわ。たとえあいつが手を下したのは最初の一人だけだとしても、そこから発生した死者たちの殺人は全部あいつの成果になる。だから
さっきみたいに街を歩き回って吸血鬼のしもべを探していた。そうすれば親の居場所がわかるのか？
強く親に結びついたしもべならね。けど今のところ外ればっかり。棺、敵の潜伏場所が見つからないのはそれだけ多くの死者を使っているからよ。あいつが自分の手を汚すのは数回だけ。あとは死者にした人間を操って自分は眠っているだけで領地を広げていく。この町の犠牲者は100人を超えている。
Okay.
あなたたちが騒いでいる犠牲者なんて人知れずいなくなった人間の一部分に過ぎないわ。
Why is that? That's weird. Like, only 9 of them have been mentioned, but there's been, well, just more than 100. So maybe the rest of them are just like seen as runaways or something. Hearing it all again makes my blood run cold. 2 days ago I had thought Vlad was the cause of all of this. And being able to channel all these emotions into killing him is what kept me sane. But this time is different. The murders continue. More than 100 victims attacked, drained of blood, and killed by former humans. But then they're robbed of their rest. They become walking corpses like the clumps of lions and are made to prowl the town for more victims. It was just 3 days ago. I recall the people annihilated at the hotel. Though I was there too, I wasn't able to witness their final moments. That's why I can only imagine the butchery that took place that night. It's no different now. It's hard to fully accept the notion that there's a vampire out there thirsting for human blood, all for the sake of stretching the boundaries of its domain. But it does beg the question, how would I feel if, without the slightest warning, one of my loved ones was killed in such a horrific way? It's a morbid thing to consider, that's to be sure, but I ponder it for a second. I picture Akiha having her blood drained and being tossed away like garbage. breath hisses between my teeth as I try to rid myself of the vertigo gnawing at my brain. The very thought of that should enrage me, yet I feel strangely cold. Now is the time to think, not the time to let my emotions run rampant, I tell myself. The fact is there is a very real possibility that this could come to pass as soon as tomorrow. It's pitiful that I never realized just how much danger we were in, but I can chastise myself for that later.
やっぱり怒ったわね、シキ。私があなたに話したくなかったのは、これは捕食される側、人間にとってどしがたいものだからよ。シキにしてみれば、吸血鬼の行為は認められないものでしょうから。
She's right. Morality and correctness have nothing to do with this. I just can't accept what they do. Even if the victims were complete strangers to me, each of them had a past and future to call their own, all of which were dashed in an instant. I may not know what those lives were like, but that doesn't make them cheap commodities to be used and discarded. I wouldn't want to die like that, at the whim of some creature. It's just too cruel. Cruel and wrong. It's all so meaningless.
でも安心していいよ、シキ。吸血鬼たちの天敵はこの国にはいないみたいだけど、今は私がちゃんといるんだから。
The vampires' natural predators? There's no way she's gonna say the church are the vampires' natural predators, is she? Like, it's a little weird if that's true.
言ったでしょ。私の目的は町を犯している吸血鬼を退治することだって。
I need to get something to drink. Ugh. Too much noise. Arcueid brightens in a flash, a far cry from her attitude a moment ago. Honestly, her words make me feel a lot better. I know just how incredible she is and how far she'll go to protect humans. She shielded us from Vlov's ice without a thought for herself. But that also gives me pause. An obvious question I've had since even before the fight with Vlov.
それがわからない。アルクエイドだって吸血鬼なんだろ。どうしてそんな人間の味方みたいなことをするんだよ。
私、別に人間の味方をしているわけじゃないよ。それ以外にやることがないからやってるだけだもの。
She just has nothing better to do.
ま、そんなことをやっているから狙われるんでしょうけど、そこはそれ、必要経費みたいなものかしら。
いや、お前の言いたいことはまるでわからないけど、その例えだけは間違ってるぞ、きっと。
まあまあ、細かいことは気にしないで。そんな引く手あまたヘイトいっぱいな私だったけど、シキがブローブを倒してくれたでしょ。これで障害は何もなくなったわ。あとはこの町に潜んでいる敵を見つけてなんとか始末してみせるから。シキは今まで通り普通の生活に戻って私たちなんかに関わらなくていいんだよ。
ああ、うん、そりゃ嬉しいけど。
Are you really sure you'll be okay on your own? The words form in the back of my mind, but I shake my head to send them away. Something must be wrong with me. Why should I care if she winds up getting herself into danger?
シキ？何よ、また難しい顔しちゃって。シキの聞きたい話ってこれで終わりでしょ？他には何もないと思うけど。
second. People asking questions. I'm good. Wait a second. What? Stupid stuff. What? What the fuck? Just stupid. Not even stuff that's like... Don't worry about it. just stuff that's just like, what the fuck? Are you mentally okay, man? Type stuff. Like, do you want to celebrate us maybe charging you money? It's like, what? Did you just like friendly in a friendly manner just threaten me? It's like, what? That's everything you wanted to know, wasn't it? I don't imagine there'd be anything else. I mean, I have about 1,000 more questions, but right now.
そりゃ難しい顔ぐらいする。これは俺たちが住んでいる町の問題なんだから。
だから気にしなくていいんだって。これからは毎日街を見て回って、もうこれ以上犠牲者は出さないようにするし。それともそんなに私の性能を信用できない？
Really don't want to get involved, but protecting this city, it should be the responsibility of someone who lives here, not Arcueid.
Arcueid, そのお前の言う敵は強いのか？あのブローブよりもっと。
まさかブローブはああ見えてもその一人よ。
Yeah. Well, it's weird that she says despite his appearance, because his appearance was... He looked old and powerful. But yeah, like, I guess that's the point. Like, we just fought, like, basically the strongest type of vampire you possibly can fight, pretty much. Pretty much. I mean, so, like, the guy we're fighting is obviously below him, but then, like, you know, it's going to be a different type of fight, I assume.
この町に救った吸血鬼はブローブより純度は落ちるわ。
Oh, lower level of purity even.
そうか。ならお前がやられることはないんだな。
断言はできないわね。ちょっと前までの私なら問題なかったと思うけど、今の私は病み上がりだもの。敵の方が力をつけている可能性が高いわ。
Hold on just a second. I nodded along without really thinking about what she said. Arcueid is on the mend? Yeah, we know.
風邪でもひいたのかお前。
We already... What is going on? Like, Shiki, you were literally told 2 or 3 days ago that it would take her at least a full week. I think it was a full week to do a full recovery. Now, first of all, that was a guess. But even assuming that was true, she was saying she would do nothing for that week. But instead what she did was get into at least like a small fight and then a super big fight. And she got injured, I think. I think she did I think all 3 of those happened. I think. And that was, yeah. So like, of course, she's not going to recover in a week, like she said. Even if she would have recovered in a week, which she probably wouldn't. It's only been like 2 days since she got injured and did those big fights. So she's probably back to what she was before everything with Flav even happened.
というか吸血鬼って風邪ひくのか？
ええ、とんでもなく野蛮な通り魔を一つね。塔の式っていう名前の悪質なウイルスなんだけど、ご存知かしら？
That's pretty good.
ああ、いや、それはごめんなさい。
Pretty sure I just kicked the hornet's nest.
冗談よ。式の傷はもう治ってるわ。ただちょっと治すのに想定以上の力を使って疲れてるだけ。
Yeah, she's just trying to be nice and say, well, no, that's not true. But it's like, no, you totally sound exhausted. Like, I'm already recovered from all that? Like, no way, no way.
痛いのはグローブから受けた傷の方。こっちはまだ外を塞いでいるだけだから。
Yeah, I guess. Arcueid touches her stomach lightly. I'm responsible for that wound, too. She only got it because she protected me. I'm at a loss. All of Arcueid's pain has been my fault. So then, why? Why doesn't she hold even the slightest grudge? How can she smile at me so innocently?
やめろよ。せめて傷が治るまでどこかで休んでればいいじゃないか。今さら一日。
ダメよ。ブローブと戦ったことで敵も私が来たことに気づいているはずだもの。休んだりしたらそれこそ私が弱っていると知らせるようなものだわ。
Going by that logic, you're saying that it would be a problem if he underestimated you? Is what you're saying? Because, like, you know, if he believes you're weak, okay. Well, here's the funny part. If you rest for 2 days, you would easily kill him. Easily. But instead, you're going to be like, no, I have to show I'm strong by continually making it so that I'm actually weak. You know, like, that's too risky. By continuing to move around, she's making herself weaker, kind of.
だからって今夜みたいな真似を続けていくのか？
Yeah. So maybe this is where the next few days, maybe Shiki will actually kill some of these to, like, help her whittle down his forces. Maybe.
ええ、敵の居場所がわからない以上、あいつに血を送っている死者を片っ端から潰していくしかない。そうして血の供給源を断てば、本体が直に血を吸いに現れる。
I wish I knew how often vampires had to feed, though. They said, yeah, vampires have to feed, but, like, daily? Weekly? You know? Like,
それがもし明日だったらどうするんだ？弱っているのを隠したところで、そんな体じゃ逆に殺されるようなものなんだろう。なら
I stopped short of telling her not to push herself and stare at my feet. Arcueid is right. If she shows even a hint of weakness, the vampire will come to kill her regardless. These last 2 days have taught me something. When it comes to fighting, Arcueid can be brutal to the core. Rather than avoiding personal injury, her strategy is all about finding a surefire way to take down her enemy. She prioritizes her objective above all else. She doesn't force herself into believing anything but the truth. Arcueid isn't going to stop. I won't get another chance to talk with her like this if I let her go. She's not scared of death. So why'd she have to smile like that? If I could have just not seen that smile. If she just acted more like a vampire, I wouldn't feel like this.
どうしたの、シキ？体震わせちゃって、もしかしてトイレ？
お前ってやつはどうしてそう？
She's so carefree about all this. I lift my head. In front of me stands the woman in white. I can't pretend like none of this happened. I don't know what this feeling is, but I know I can't forget the 2 days we've spent together. That's why, if I leave her now, only for her to wind up dead tomorrow, I could never forgive myself.
勘弁してくれ。ただでさえ両目が壊れてるのに、頭まで壊れかけてる。
I don't want to deal with vampires anymore. The fight with Flav flashes through my mind. Terror still lingers in my bones, enough to send a chill up my spine. It's the same now. This other vampire is supposed to be strong too. There's no need for me to involve myself. Arcueid says she can handle it, so I should just leave it to her. And yet, even though I know that's the logical thing to do, I can't let her do this alone.
もうどうかしちまったのか俺は。
I kick at the ground. More than anything, I'm pissed off at just how illogical I'm being.
何？どうしたのシキ？いきなり怒り出しちゃって。
そりゃ怒りたくもなる。なんだって俺はあんな目にあったっていうのに、こんなたわごとを口にしようとしているのかって。
The idea of what I'm about to utter makes me dizzy. If I had a mirror in front of me, I'd give my reflection a smack in the face.
落ち着いて。普通じゃないわよ、あなた。
ああ、普通じゃないさ。普通じゃなかったらこんなこととても口にはできないだろう。
Cursing to myself, I scratch at my head like I could drag the words right out. As much as I don't want to believe it, I've already decided. I said as much, didn't I?
もう全然わかんない。ちゃんと説明しなさい。さっきからこんなことこんなことって、何がこんなことだって言うの？
だからお前の体が治りきるまで手伝ってやるって、そう言いたいんだよ俺は。
Arcueid looks taken aback. I finally got it out in a way. Now that I've actually said the words, I start to calm down.
シキ、今の本当？
I groan. Even I still can't believe what I just said.
私ちょっと聞き損ねちゃった。お願いだからもう一度言って。
Another groan, but it's too late to go back now. I stopped being able to lie to myself the second I said it.
早く。私今のセリフもう一度聞きたい。
She urges me with a voice close to a whisper. Averting my gaze from her beaming face, I try my best to sound angry.
だからアルクエイドが弱ってるのは俺の責任だし、街にはびこってる化け物を放っておけないし、弱っているお前一人じゃ頼りないから、俺でよかったら手伝ってやるって言ったんだ。
シキ。
Arcueid's eyes practically sparkle. She grabs my hand happily and shakes it up and down.
まあ俺じゃ大した役には立たないだろうけど、いないよりはマシだろう。
シキが手伝ってくれるなら怖いものなんて何もないんだから。
Arcueid continues giving my hand a vigorous shaking. Considering her ridiculous strength, I'm honestly afraid my arm will come out of its socket before long, but I can't bring myself to stop her. How do I put it? She looks so happy, honestly, truly happy. Seeing that, it makes me feel like maybe I've made the right choice after all, despite how insane it sounds. Keep looking up at the moon in this game called Moon Princess. I'm really wondering, like, okay, Arcueid is clearly the Moon Princess, but then, like, in this game called Tsukihime, how are there so many other routes? You know? Or I guess the bigger question is, how is Arcueid involved in the other routes? I feel like she would just be like the enemy in CL's route. And the other routes, I have no idea how Arcueid even is involved at all. By the time Arcueid finally releases me from our handshake, it's almost 9. My head hurts thinking about what will happen once I get home. But that won't be for a while, now that I've decided to lend my support. We've got a vampire hunt to plan. So,
これからどうするんだ？やっぱり街を歩いて死者を探すのか？
そうね。この町にいる死者を全滅させれば、親元の吸血鬼は出てこざるを得なくなるでしょうし、今はそれぐらいしか手はないけど。
Is that okay with you? Her eyes ask.
いいも何も、俺はアルクエイドに付き合うだけだ。餅は餅やって言うし、専門家に従うよ。
And just as I say it, Arcueid looks at me with a wide grin on her face.
なんだよ。おかしなこと言ったか、俺。
うん。シキ、やけに素直だなーって。
Maybe I should start acting a little tougher. I have a feeling she'll be asking crazy stuff of me if I don't draw the line somewhere.
行くぞ。街を回ればいいんだろう。さっきの高架線下とか もう一度調べてみるか。
あの区域はもういいわ。死者は互いに食い合わないよう、犠牲者の数を一区間に集中させないよう、それぞれ活動ルートを定めているの。一晩に食事をさせる死者の数は決まっている。今夜はさっきので打ち止めだと思うけど、せっかく式がいるんだし、もうちょっと探索してみましょうか。
互いに食い合わないようにか。本格的に統率されてるなら、もっと無差別なものかと思った。
親元の吸血鬼にしてみれば、血液の採集は娯楽じゃなくて生存するための必要作業、仕事だもの。ルーチンワークを良しとするのよ。
貴重な労働力ってわけか。でもそれだと向こうも手を打ってこないか。アルクエイドが数を減らしているんだから、ここから先は増員させるか、あるいは死者を引っ込めて姿を隠すとか。
Well, they can't go into hiding because then they don't get blood.
基本的には出し渋る方でしょうね。けど吸血鬼である以上、どうしても他者から血や精を搾取しないと生存していられない。親元は私に狙われていると分かっていても、最低限の食料を得るために死者を出すしかないってわけ。
I got it. Arcueid wants to starve them out. I mean, she literally said that. It would be nearly impossible to find our target just by looking, so we'll have to flush them into the open. We'll cut off all of their other options and give them no choice but to go out and hunt for themselves. Once they make their move, Arcueid will be able to sense them, and that's when the real hunt begins. We're going to stop this at the source, just like with Squav.
状況は分かった。とにかく夜になったら街を歩き回ってまだ活動している死者を見つければいいんだな。
ええ。それでシキ、あなたにはメガネを外してついてきてほしいんだけど、いい？
メガネを外してってなんで？
Maybe it's easier to find them. Ooh, that's actually a little tricky though. I was just thinking, yeah, it'd be really useful if you could just go look at a crowd of people and then just see who obviously is the hidden familiar, but then you can't do that because it's too many people with too many lines.
その方が確実だから。私は人間と人間じゃないものの気配を感じ取れる。あなたは聖者と死者の違いが視覚情報として読み取れる。索敵方法は大いに越したことはないでしょ。
Arcueid's explanation makes sense. Plus, I'm the one who agreed to help. There's no reason for me to decline. I just don't know if I'm comfortable with this.
あなたの体に大きく負担をかけることになるでしょうね。でもいい機会だからもう一度だけ確認したいの。士気が大丈夫だと判断するのなら、メガネを外してついてきて。
She wants me to walk around town without my glasses, huh? In the 7 years since I got these glasses, I've never once tried to do that before. Looking at inanimate objects is enough to give me a headache, so it's not hard to imagine what strolling around town with my eyes exposed would do to me. But even so, just get used to it, Maybe, I don't know. It's okay, one little headache won't kill me. Besides, a headache is nothing compared to what Arcueid has to deal with right now.
いいよ。メガネを外してついていく。それで型がつくって言うなら安いもんだ。
そう。なら行きましょう。
Take a deep breath and remove my glasses and set off into town. This is a long part, isn't it? Like the night was going to end and then suddenly we're doing this now. Arcueid and I walked side by side through the crowds. It's the first time since I was hospitalized that I've walked around like this with the lines in full view. I don't feel any dizziness as of yet. Simply seeing them doesn't give me too much of a headache. But while I can look at the thin lines on the buildings just fine, every glimpse of the lines tracing the people we pass makes me sick. Disgust surges within me. It's not the sight of their lines-covered bodies that makes me feel this way. It's the unwelcome knowledge that humans can die so easily that forces bile up my throat. I feel like this is a thing only for Shiki. Like this is kind of a weird thing to be like, I'm confronted that people can die at any second. Oh my gosh. It's like, yeah. But I don't know, maybe it's like a physical representation, so that's different than just pure knowledge, maybe? Or maybe it's like, well, he's so young though. He's innocent or something, I don't know. We continue our search. Arcueid takes each step confidently, never saying a word. We spend around 2 hours checking prominent places close to the station. But in the end, we don't find anyone resembling that clump of lines from earlier. I'm not too surprised, but at the same time, it is surprising. I'm not surprised just from a story perspective, but within this world, it feels like they really should have ran into one or two.
Shiki, メガネをかけていいわ。やっぱりもう今夜の死者はいないみたい。
I put on my glasses. My vision returns to normal and I breathe a sigh of long-awaited relief.
そんな簡単に見切りをつけていいのか？まだ1回しか街を見回ってないけど。
一度見回れば十分よ。気配っていうのはね、多少はその場所に残留するものなの。
Oh, that's weird.
でも街には死者の気配がどこにもなかった。食料を調達する死者はさっきので最後だったのかも。ここからはもう一段階上の死者を潰していくわ。
不機嫌そうだな、アルクエイド。
Because it means that the vampire is actually smart, maybe?
当然でしょ。せっかくシキがいてくれるのに空振りなんだもの。かっこいいとこ見せようと思ったの。
Can't say I expected that to be the reason.
まあ、俺は無駄骨でも気にしないけど、そんなにご不満ならもう一度街を回っても構わないぞ。俺も今度は意識を集中してみる。もしかしたら何か見つけられるかもしれない。
ダメよ。今夜はこれ以上あなたに無理はさせられない。
無理って別に俺は無理なんか。
してるのよ。シキ本人は気がついてないだけ。今だって顔色すごく青いし。ほら、ベンチに座って少しは楽になるんでしょ。
She guides or rather pushes me down onto the bench. Truthfully, I'm about ready to throw up, so I'll take a seat for a bit. The relief is such that I accidentally let out a sigh. All the tension I'd bottled up was released the moment I sat down. I guess I really was pushing myself too hard.
ありがとう。助かった。でも、これぐらい今までの頭痛に比べたら軽度だぞ。意識を保っていられないめまいに比べれば危ないこともないんだし。
My nausea will fade if I breathe in the fresh night air. Next to Arcueid's wound, this is nothing. She doesn't need to worry so much about Arcueid?
弱い生き物のくせに無理はしないで。失神しなければ軽度。それは間違いよ。あなたの目に軽いも重いもない。あまり見えないものを見ようとしないで。そんなに脳を酷使したら廃人になりかねないわ。
廃人って誰が？
あなたがよ。どうしてそんなに危機感がないの？こんな希少な魔眼持ちなのに平和主義者とか美味しい獲物にも程があるし。よく今まで生きてこられたわね。ひょいってつまんで食べられるわよ、普通。
Where on earth would that be normal? And hey, I'd appreciate it if she gave the nations of the world a little credit. Even if she wants to call us complacent, it's kind of amazing how that law and order prevails as much as it does.
わかった。あんまり言いたくなかったけど、ちゃんと説明してあげる。いい？四季は生物の死は見やすくて、鉱物の死は見にくいって言ってたでしょ？それはね、結局はあなたの脳の回線の問題なの。物の死、その因果を見るということは、実際は見ているではなく、読んでいるという意味合いに近いわ。
Oh, okay.
全ての事象には大元になった原因、絶対の一がある。この宇宙の始まりにしておしまいの地点。
Oh, this is where they talk about how he's actually seeing the root of all life when he sees the lines of death. And the root is a big deal in the whole Fate series, basically.
そこには全てを記録したものがある。記録というよりはあるものだから情報とは呼べない。ただあるだけ。それ自体に意思はないし、方向性もありえない。
Oh no, sorry.
原因を垂れ流しているだけの
Well, here's where the
根
root
源の渦
is.
みたいなものね。
Here's where the root is. No, he sees the void, I believe. The void is the opposite of the root, or something like that, I think I remember hearing about this.
この世界にあるものはその渦から流れ派生して今の形に行き着いたわ。私も四季も吸血種も人間も元はそこから始まった原子に過ぎない。もう離れすぎ複雑になりすぎてしまって原因である始まりに戻ることはできないけど、とにかくそういった位置があるのはわかるでしょ。でもね、たとえどんなに大元からかけ離れた形になっても派生した存在である以上、とても細い線だけど糸はつながっているのよ。全ての根源、全ての始まりと終わりを記録したレコード。それとつながっているものは物事の終わりを知っていることになる。高等動物の脳は受信と送信を司る機能なんだけど、大抵の人間はその回線が自分に対してのみで閉じてしまっている。人間もいる。何の魔術回路も利用せず超越種でさえないのに超常現象を可能とする人間。
What does she mean by transcendental races? Like, is that like primordial races? Like long extinct races like fairies or elementals or something maybe?
これをね、魔術師たちは超能力者って区分している。人間でありながら生まれついて何らかの魔術回路そのものという突然変異。
Basically, I think this is just trying to say that he's not a mage, but he is using magic, so that's what exhausts him so much. But maybe if he was a mage and had the eyes, then maybe he could control it better. Maybe something like that.
例えば何の神秘も学んでいないのに物の死を見てしまう人間とか、ね。
Sorry, Arcueid. I appreciate you explaining all this to me, but my brain barely understood a word. I'm retarded.
いいわよ、式は理解なんかしなくて。言っておきたいのは、あんまり見えにくいものを自分から見ようとしちゃダメってこと。
You're the one that was pushing him.
私は見えないから断言はできないけど、式が見てしまってるものは線だけじゃないはずよ。あなたには線の他に、その起点である点も見えているんじゃない？
I don't think so. I don't think so. He just sees the lines. It's exactly as she says. Sometimes when I strain my eyes, the lines seem to form a single point. I saw something like that at that last moment with Splav. Now that I think back, it wasn't just with Splav. Oh, that's why he saw like that black hole looking thing, where it's like, yeah, it's like, well, yeah, I don't know what that would be exactly. The shock may have shut my brain off from reality, but I know they were right. They were there.
あの時、お前を殺した時も確かに点が見えてた。何個もあって線は点と点を結ぶように流れてた。
Like blood vessels, maybe. If the lines are blood vessels, then the points are whatever brings them forth.
物の死にやすい線とその死、なんでしょうね、それ。式はその気になれば鉱物の死を見ることだって可能だと思う。けどそのために脳が生物の範疇から鉱物の範疇に回線を開いて鉱物の死を知ろうとしてしまう。
Why does she say it like this? Because he actually can see the lines of inanimate objects, and he can cut inanimate objects. It's just apparently they're not as strong as living objects, I thought.
それは本来ありえない運動よ。脳は過負荷を起こして式は間違いなく使い物にならなくなる。
Past the point of no return, huh?
それはこの目が死を見なくなってくれるってこと？
No, you just die from being crazy.
まさか ねえシキ、無茶をしてオーバーブローしたエンジンはどうなるのかしら。
そりゃジャンク行きだろ。一度でも焼き付いたエンジンは二度と使い物にならない。
Oh, I see. The headaches I get when I see dust are the cries of an engine or overheating.
わかった。ただ見えているだけなら問題はないでしょうけど、見えないものを見ようとするのだけはやめて。せいぜい血管が破裂して脳に負荷がかかるぐらいにとどめておきなさい。その先に踏み込んだら生きながらにして石になる。
The way that she words this is so weird, because it's like any further and you'll be no more alive than a rock. Just say, if you push yourself, you'll become a vegetable. That's it. But no, you'll be no more alive than a rock. Or just say your brain will cease to function or something, you know.
そのメガネを作ってくれた魔術師には感謝しないとね。
Sure, you knew that.
大抵の超能力者は自分の力がどんなに危険なものか知らずに使用して自分から廃人になってしまうから。
Yeah, that does make sense.
まあ、人間でありながら人間の社会では生きられない存在的不適合者だから、その方が幸せなのかもしれないけど。
Oh no, these poor people. Society will not accept them for using their super ultra mega powers to do whatever the fuck they want. Society will never accept these people. Like, That's one way to put it.
どうやらそれが私がここに来た理由のようだし、私が君を以前の生活に戻してあげる。
That's what Master told me when she made these glasses. I owe her so much, it hurts to think about. That day she saved me in more ways than one. I wouldn't be here without her.
ところで。
So, anyway... Arcueid materializes right in my face as I'm in the middle of ruminating. This isn't good for my heart. I wish she'd let me have a moment considering what we just talked about.
なんだよ。メガネならもう渡さないぞ。
そうじゃなくて、これからどうする？もう死者は出てきそうにないし、今夜はここでお別れにする？
It's 11 o'clock. My curfew was ages ago. Ooh boy, this is hard to say. I feel like this type of thing is what would determine, like, I don't know if there's just one ending per route or what. You know what? We're going to talk with Arcueid. We're going to go full Arcueid route. I'll talk with Arcueid a little longer. There's still so much I don't understand despite already having decided to help hunt this vampire.
いや、まだ吐き気が収まらないし、落ち着くまでここにいるよ。その間、お前に聞きたいこともあるし。
I hope that this doesn't last too much longer, though.
街の巡回は無理でも、それぐらいならいいだろう。
そう？私はいいけど、四季はいいの？人間って夜は眠くなるんでしょ？
別にいいよ。もともと眠るのは苦手だし。
It's funny that he says that since the entire game, he's basically just went to bed and just completely passed out immediately, from what I remember, but okay.
苦手ってことは不眠症？
いや、寝つきはいい。単に好きじゃないってこと。
Okay.
ふん。夢は見ないの？
Dream? I'm not sure how to answer that.
とにかく0時までは付き合う。
What does that mean? He's implying that he doesn't dream. Like, that's weird.
そっちが話ずくめで疲れてるならこのまま帰るけど。
Maybe he only has nightmares and he just never mentions it. My sleep is a non-stop, never-ending nightmare. But I better not mention that.
全然疲れてない。むしろ全力で受けて立つわ。
そうなんだ。元気があって羨ましいけど、勢い余って暴れ出すなよ。
そんな無駄なことするわけないし。 もう式は私のことなんだと思ってるの？なんか誤解してない？
大丈夫、そこは完璧ブレてない。アルクエイドのことは手加減のできないやりすぎ吸血鬼だと思ってる。
Time to barrage her with questions. What do I want to know about? I actually wasn't interested. Like we already know everything. Unless something here is gonna explain what a freaking true ancestor is. Vampires. Wow, wait. I can't even ask what the 27 ancestors is, which is kind of actually what I wanted to know. That's really weird. Why is that? Is it because of like an option I messed up in the past? Whoa, that jumps out, huh? Sheesh, that's a big divergence. It's weird though, because like all these don't seem like they would unlock this alternate path over there. So that's really annoying if that's the case, that I could have gotten a unique answer if I had done something right. But like, let's see. Oh yeah, I did. Okay, so there was this one part where the game literally, right here, it literally said that if I had picked the choice where I leave, where I abandon Arcueid right here, but then come back, that actually is better because Arcueid would like me more, is what they told me. And it's like, okay. So weirdly, that does sound like an actual possible way to a true ending thing. But yeah, you'd have to go back pretty far for that. I don't know. I mean, I can always do that. I mean, considering you can jump through the story so quickly, you know, I could always worry about that later, I guess. Like, way later, maybe. But it does make me think that I'm probably not going to get the true ending unless I just perfectly pick the right answers at certain parts. Her battle attire when we fought Flav. Good chance. This is a good chance to ask. No, the best chance. And I've actually been insanely curious about it.
グローブと戦っていた時に着てた服見せて。
Ah, yep. I had a feeling she'd look at me like that. But I just can't get that image out of my head.
あの時は遠くにいたからよく見えなくて。なんか今と違う服装になってなかった。
With all my being, I muster a tone suggesting a simple scientific curiosity. If Arcueid thinks I have ulterior motive, that's on her.
グローブ対策で表面を変えていた時のこと？疲れるからやりたくないんだけど、レシピはまだ残してるから。はい、これでいいの
Oh, good, she asks, as if the sight before me wasn't positively breathtaking. There stands her beautiful, flowing form. This was actually not what I was expecting when I chose this option, by the way. Soft gloves envelop her arms in a silken embrace. The shoulders are open, revealing gorgeous, immaculate skin. So this is what it's like to be at a total loss for words. Achingly beautiful is the only phrase that comes to mind to describe the alabaster vision. An incomprehensible groan of admiration escapes from my lips. It's hard to believe the thing before me is the same vampire who's caused me nothing but trouble today. I wonder if she wouldn't come back to the mansion wearing that. That would certainly be something to see. Like, okay.
これ私の選択ミスだからあんまり好きじゃないんだけど。
By mistake? What?
ブローブの原理が寒さだと見抜いていればもっとあったかいイメージで固めてた。
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That's what she meant. Yeah. Now that she mentions it, the air does feel colder around her. It almost looks as if glimmering crystals of ice are swirling in the air.
そっか、耐熱仕様なんだもんな。そりゃ冷房機能もついてるか。
そう、くれぐれも触らないでね。触れると式も凍っちゃうから。これは私自身の守りじゃなくて、ブローブに組みついた時、炎を消すために作ったものよ。
Yeah, yeah. I guess we are learning, technically. The best defense is a good offense, huh? But how very like Arcueid. Actually, that is defense, to take out the flames. I guess, I don't know. It's defensive and offensive, I guess. Still, and I hate to admit this, she really is a princess.
何よ難しそうな顔して。もしかしてシキ、私の失敗を見て楽しいの？
そんなわけあるか。これが失敗なら世の中の9割は失敗だ。普段からこの格好はダメだよな。目立ちすぎる。第一、他のやつに見せるなんてとんでもない。これは俺だけの特権だ。
そう？じゃあ気に入ったってこと？
The realization of what I've just said crashes over me like a wave. Because of the sight in front of me, I failed to stop myself from saying something so stupid.
まあそれなりに。一緒に戦うとき、お前がいろいろできると頼りになるだろう。
Something, anything to salvage this. It seems she's happy to be a big help.
もちろん、私基本的に万能だから。殺すことしか能のない式を最大限にサポートするね。
I went a little too far. Now I'm pretty sure she intends to launch me at our enemies like a tennis ball. Honestly, it may be my fault for coming up with such a crazy plan when we fought Vlav.
ところで、その服名前とかあるのか？
名前？そんなのいちいち決めないけど。
Yeah.
ドレスコードはそうね。氷河をまとうかな。そういうイメージで作ったわ。
じゃあグローブの力を見抜いていたら。
キラーウェアをイメージしていたでしょうね。あそこは今も活動している火山だから。
Kilawe? That's a weird choice. Admittedly, I would love to see her in a Hawaiian style.
ねえ、
I mean,
そろそろ着替えていい？
okay, I guess. Can I change
力
now?
無駄に使いたくないし。
While I may be sad to see the dress go, I have no grounds to stop her. I tell her it's fine, trying to keep my composure all the while. A more compelling question comes to mind.
グローブとの戦闘服がなんでドレスなんだ？社交界に行くわけでもあるまいし。
社交界ってそういうものでしょ？
Vampire, high society.
なるほど。
Apparently vampire big shots spend all their time at each other's throats. So... Oh yeah, I was like, where's the story going now? The hands of the clock have reached their zenith. While we were talking, midnight snuck up on us.
もう日付が変わっちゃうね。もったいないけど、そろそろ休んでもらわないと。
俺ならまだ元気だけど。
それはシキがそう思ってるだけよ。今夜はここでお別れにしましょう。どうせまた明日には会えるんだから。
Arcueid begins moving away with a little dance step, still looking my way.
明日って、ちょっと待て。待ち合わせ場所とかどうするんだよ。おい。
ここでいいよ。時間は10時頃がちょうどいいかな。
10 o'clock, wow.
おやすみなさい、シキ。また明日、ここでね。
We're starting late, sheesh. Are you gonna say something to Akiha about doing this stuff? There's no stopping her. After offering a cheerful wave, she departs.
No.
The mind wants to complain, but the heart just isn't in it. She may be trouble, but even more than that, she's cute.
なんだよ、今の顔。
She's dangerous. How could I ever miss out our plans if she's going to look at me like that? That's one way to say it. How could I ever miss our plans? Should have just said forget our plans. Anyway, yeah, are we gonna get a scene here? Yeah, or maybe not. I guess we'll see. Make it back to the mansion. Not a single light brightens the building. Yeah, it's midnight, dude. The door isn't locked. I guess we left it open. I let out a grateful sigh so as not to wake anyone. I end up tiptoeing to my room. Another sigh, this time from relief, escapes as I settle onto the bed. Arcueid was right, my body is sorely exhausted. It feels like the mattress is sucking me in. Still lying down, I let out a massive breath. Again, I'm working with Arcueid. I just realized, has this guy taken a shower in this game more than once? I believe one time he did take a shower. But more than once? Like, wait a second. Fate just keeps dragging me back into her blast radius. Fate. Or maybe I don't want to. Maybe I'm drawn to her, to all her beauty and all her inhumanity. How stupid of me. I've already killed once with these hands. So what am I losing my mind over? The whole reason I'm even touching this vampire hunting business is for the city I call home. I don't want to die, so I have to help out. I close my eyes, glasses off, sleep takes me over, a giant hand pulling my body and my consciousness into a deeper darkness. Whatever happens, I'll be fighting alongside her again. Right now, I should just get ready for tomorrow. End of day 7, I guess. Right? Yeah. I'm like, So, next stream, I'm planning to still do 2 days. Like, I do want to catch up in the days. We'll see. Tomorrow I do have plenty of time, so it shouldn't really be an issue. Interesting that there's notes right there. You know, it mentions Arcueid route, and then it says notes below. What's that mean? Also, that day is red. I mean, I'm not surprised because I am surprised that we didn't kill anybody this day, and then this is part 1 and part 2. So, but my guess would be in this arc, it's more about Shiki being the main character and using his eyes more, whereas CL's route would be the opposite, where he doesn't use his eyes much, and CL protects him. But then I don't know what Shiki would be doing in that route. You know, it's like if she's doing all the fighting, then what's Shiki doing? Huh. But well, I guess we'll just end it right here. No reason to even start the next day. But yeah, thanks for watching. See you tomorrow. Yeah. Okay. Bye.